everything. There are only two things in existence: mind and what it is occupied with. At this moment, the mind, your part of the mind, is occupied with you. That's all. It's just occupied with the idea of you. Oh, I am this, I look like this, I talk like this is who I am. When that occupation ends, you will realize the truth. So that is why spirituality is an absolute ego crushing process. You cannot retain your ego and still become spiritual. It's not possible.
How do you drop the ego?
You cannot drop the ego.
I mean, how do you crush it? I mean, smash it or whatever you're talking about.
See, understand the nature of ego. What is ego? Is it something real? You'll have to understand the nature of the ego. What is it? Is it real? You can say you have a thought. Okay? That thought is real. Your body is real. Your mind is real. But is ego real? No. Ego is simply an attachment to all these things. Ego comes into the picture in that attachment to the idea of you. Otherwise, there is nothing to drop. This imaginary attachment is what you need to drop in meditation. Meditation is really not about dropping your mind or dropping your body or dropping existence or flying somewhere, nothing. It is dropping these imaginary links that you've created between you and everything else. So every thought that your mind generates, it stirs your being because you have some association with that thought. You have not disassociated with that thought. You're so involved in that thought that it affects you. In that moment when you're being affected, your ego is created. Otherwise, when you're asleep, where is your ego? Where is it?
Asleep.
If your ego was real, it should be there all the time. It should be there even while you're asleep. But if you notice, there are some moments when you are absolutely egoless. Can you give me an example of those moments? There is no individuality, there is no personality. In that moment, anybody can connect with you and you can connect with anybody. Which is that moment? And you experience this moment a lot throughout the day.
For me, it's when I'm really exhausted physically.
Okay. When you're physically exhausted, can anybody connect with you? Really? Okay.
Like
Actually, it's
working out.
okay. See, still, that might be an idea, but really, there is only one moment when we completely drop our ego. That is when we are ecstatically joyful. In a moment when we are so joyful that we feel, oh, the whole existence is mine. I can accommodate everybody. I can love everybody. I'm a compassionate, loving person. And the moment the mosquito starts biting you, it's like, why is this happening? I don't like people. I don't like the body. Simple things. Pain is where ego is. Try and understand this. Fear is where ego is. Insecurity is where ego is. Doubt is where ego is. Joy, love, compassion, peace. Where is ego in all this? Those are all universal phenomenon. Love and compassion is a universal phenomenon. It does not require an ego. But ego is needed to be jealous, to be angry, to be fearful, isn't it? So ego is a collection of, probably you can say the wall that you have built around yourself is the ego. That imaginary wall that lets you have this sense of false comfort that I am safe within these walls. That is ego. It's an imaginary wall. And meditation is just a way of breaking this wall. It is not breaking you. See, this is why a lot of people are confused and they are afraid to try meditation because they think they will lose their mind. Because this is the language that is used. Or drop your mind, drop your body. It's like, I don't want to drop my mind. Then why would I want to drop my mind? That is the only thing that I have. And don't even come near the body. What do you mean, drop the body? I mean, any sane person would say, are you mad? This is my life, this is my body, this is my mind, I admire my life. Tell me something to keep myself relaxed, I'll practice. But what do you mean by dropping the body? See, this is a false notion. In meditation, even if you go to the deepest layers of meditation, you will not drop your body, you will not drop your mind. You will drop the false association, the false identification with your body. You will drop the false identification with the mind. You will simply realize there is a third entity to your reality apart from the mind and the body. You are neither the mind nor the body. You are something different. The moment you experience that pure moment when you are something different, then automatically the desire to cling to your mind, the desire to cling to your body drops in that moment. That is what we call the moment of enlightenment. The moment when you are not clinging to the mind and the body, but still your body is very much there sitting, your mind is still there, everything is there. But the one who was holding on to it has just relaxed to a point where he has simply dropped the desire to cling to it. And that is all is the shift that needs to happen. And after your enlightenment, it's the same thing. You can pick up your body, you can pick up your mind, you can start using it again. In fact, you can use it much better because you have little less attachment to it than before. You can use it in love, in service. You can use it to help people. You can use it to help yourself. You will not use it to hurt people or harm somebody. Because what is the purpose? When you have seen that nature within you, then that is why nobody who has come out of deep meditation has become violent, has gone on killing people. It has never happened. Because it is only the ego, out of its fear, that tries to destroy another life. A meditative being only tries to destroy the ego. He never tries to destroy the being. That is why a Buddha is always a symbol of compassion. That is why Jesus was all love, sweet and sweet and sweet, even when he was being torn to pieces. Because he had become that. He had experienced that. It is a completely different matter. Religion has fooled people into believing a totally different story about all these people. But these were wonderful people who dropped their egos. That is all what they achieved. What did Jesus achieve? He dropped his ego. And that moment when he dropped his ego, he was able to touch somebody and heal them. Not heal their disease, but heal the sickness of life that they were clinging to. Heal the illusions that they were clinging to. That is the meaning, that he could just touch somebody and heal them. Because he was healed. Because he was not clinging to his imperfections. He was just seeing everything just the way they were. That is what awakening is. Awakening is not some new experience. It is just to realize who you are. And in that moment, you will see what the mind is. The mind is your very center. You cannot get rid of the mind. You can get rid of all the thoughts in the mind, and you can go to a very quiet corner of your mind. But you can never come out of the mind because everything is in the mind. Because for the mind, there is no in and out. Think about it. It is like walking on a globe. There is no way you can drop off the edge of a globe. You will just keep circling. That's the mind. You cannot drop off the edge of the mind because mind doesn't have an edge. Even till the edges of space and the universe, the mind extends. So there's no question of going to the corner of the mind and just jumping off. It is only to realize the nature of the mind. That is the whole effort.
Is the nature of mind the nature of existence as well?
Yes, everything functions through that mind. And that is why we call existence as existence, because it is existing. And how can something exist without it being a part of the mind? You cannot separate existence from the mind, because you need a space, you need that realm for something to exist, and mind is that realm, the undivided mind. It is the nature of existence. That's why when you look at how existence functions, I mean, you will have to step away from the cities and watch trees and plants and birds. If you're in the middle of New York, then you will see a totally different nature of reality. Then you will see only the human mind. You will not see the mind. If you want to know the difference between the human mind and the mind, first spend some time in a big city. Just watch the people, the buildings, the businesses, the lifestyle. That is all the human mind. What the human mind has created. And just step away and go into the nature once in a while. Just be in the forest or stand in front of an ocean, and you will see the nature of the mind is so different. It is so peaceful, it is so serene, and it is so musical. Existence is so wonderful. The way she is, the way she breathes, the way she communicates. And I say she because existence has to be feminine. And the human mind, in a way, has to be masculine. Structure, purpose, attainment. But look at her. Look at existence. Always receiving, always accommodating. A bird sits on the tree, it just accepts. Somebody plucks the fruit, it accepts. It's a part of the mind that is not polluted by desires. Anything that you add to existence, it has been added by your own mind. If you think that that tree is growing and it is spreading its leaves and it is smothering all the other plants that are growing nearby, this is all your mind. In existence, there is no competition. I mean, if you've been watching Discovery or National Geographic, if you've been listening to that commentary, then you will think, oh, existence is one, competitive place. There's one famous celebrity, once he said, I don't like nature. It is like a big restaurant. Everybody is trying to eat somebody else. See, that was his perception of existence. Because for him, every creature is trying to eat another creature, so the whole existence is one big restaurant. But this is our projection. Existence is not a restaurant. It is just what it is. Animals are surviving and they are protecting themselves, they are eating each other. But still, there is a sense of peace in existence. And that is why, no matter how constructed our reality is, our mind craves for that unconstructed space. The mind says, go away from everything constructed. Just go into the pure, pristine space. And that is all enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not to go beyond the mind. It is to move from one corner of your mind to the other corner. It is to move from the very busy, purposeful, constructed space of the mind towards a peaceful, quiet space of the mind. But you're still within your mind. But you're just moving from one place to another. Nature of existence is the nature of the mind. But human mind is different. Human mind is very purpose oriented. So it has created things for a certain purpose. But existence is not purpose oriented. Existence is just existing for the sake of existing. So that tree has no purpose of its own. The birds don't have any purpose. The sky doesn't have any purpose. It's the unconstructed part of your mind. Now, if you go chop that tree down and use that wood to build something, a chair, then you are using existence, you're using your mind to create something that is purposeful. But otherwise, the wood itself is not purposeful, it is just simply there. And that is all what man has been doing. He's trying to convert this purposeless, simple, moment to moment existence into something that he can always connect with. He wants to build a home that will last for his lifetime. So that will give him a sense of comfort. So, a purpose. I'm not saying all these things are wrong. Human beings do certain things that are wrong. Building a house, living, making some alterations. This is all a part of our intelligence. There's nothing wrong in it. But if that itself becomes the purpose, and if we forget nature, forget existence, and completely start going into a constructed mind, that is when we lose the meaning and purpose of life. That is why once in a while we need to keep coming back to the unconstructed space. And spirituality is just a way of seeing that all this is happening right here. At this very moment, you can choose pain or pleasure. Everything is right here.